Really? Stop it. Stop. Corby here, coming at you with another first impression. Today's first impression comes from Colossians chapter 2, specifically verse 14, but I want to read you some of the context so that it makes sense. Colossians 2, starting in verse 13, says, "And you, being dead in your trespasses and the uncircumcision of your flesh, he," talking about Jesus, "has made alive. He has made you alive, together with him, having forgiven all your trespasses, having wiped out the handwriting of requirements, having wiped out the handwriting of requirements that was against us, which was contrary to us. And he has taken it out of the way, having nailed it to the cross." I'm going to read that again in the New English translation, same two verses. "And even though you were dead in your transgressions and in the uncircumcision of your flesh, he nevertheless made you alive with him, having forgiven all your transgressions. He has destroyed what was against us." I like that. He has destroyed which was against us, a certificate of indebtedness expressed in decrees opposed to us. He has taken it away by nailing it to the cross. Now, what struck me this time through is, as this one says, the certificate of indebtedness. Anybody have any loans? Anybody get a credit card bill or a student loan bill? That's a certificate of indebtedness. Doesn't that feel overwhelming sometimes to have a huge bill that you feel like maybe you're never going to be able to repay? A car payment, a house payment? Hello? We have a certificate of indebtedness to God, all of us do, that Jesus has paid off. When he said on the cross, "It is finished," he said tetelestai, which is Greek for "it is finished," it is paid in full. Jesus has removed it, and it says by nailing it to the cross. Almost, and he goes on to say in context, it's a great passage, that it's like he's nailing it up on the cross, so that everyone who walks by, particularly Satan and those who would be against us, to show off to the world that we're free. We're paid in full. We have been set free. And here's what really struck me about this. We don't need Jesus to help us be good enough for God. Sometimes people think they have, Christianity, I know I need Jesus, but I also know I need to be good enough to get to heaven so that God will accept me. It's not those two things together. You don't need Jesus to help you be good enough for God. You need Jesus, you and I need Jesus, because he paid the debt that we could never repay. Never. Ever, ever, ever. It would be like having a credit card bill of $1 trillion. You can never repay that. Jesus came and took that bill and nailed it to the cross. He took that bill for us. We couldn't repay it. We shouldn't even try to repay it. Now, when I say we shouldn't try, I mean we shouldn't live our lives like we owe God, and man, I hope I'm going to be good enough. If anything, we should live our lives out of love for God, doing good for him doing good through us, based on love, not based on obligation trying to repay this debt. So when you think about your need for Jesus, don't think about it as he needs to come alongside you and help you be good enough. He comes and he takes that bill and he nails it to the cross. He pays it himself so that you and I can be free of that bill, free of that feeling indebted to God. And then we can go on living for him, which is what the verse is going to talk about. Colossians 2, I read it. Read the whole chapter. Read the whole little letter. It takes like 10 minutes. Great little book. And that's today's first impression. I've been Corby. With me as always is Wilson. Party on, Wilson. Thank you.